Yes, it's been a little while. So, this is on our reading lesson for today. So, you guys have been doing fantastic work in your research clubs. I see a lot of you making really good detailed notes. You're putting your name beside it so that way we can see who is collecting what information, what you're finding, and you're putting it down on in your typing. So, nice work. Keep that up. Make sure you're doing that. I don't see a lot of you making your word banks yet. Remember, that was one thing I think I said at the beginning. I want to make sure you guys are using expert words, word bank. So start doing that in your research. When you come across something that is a expert word or a word that you might not know, or you think that somebody needs to know it who is looking at your presentation or whatever, that's a word that stands out to you, put that down. You can start a little word bank. On your sheets or your documents, I did put down a heading with something called wonderings, something, and I put each one of your names beside it. There, I want you to put down something you're wondering, like if you were researching penguins and you've done your research and you are looking through and you're like, I wonder why the dad penguin is the one that stays by and sits on the nest on the egg, and the mother goes off to search for food. Often that's reversed in a lot of the birds that you see outside. It's usually the dad that goes off and comes back. But that's something that you could put down. Or like, I wonder, why some sharks can, the bull shark can swim in fresh water and then the other ones can't. Things like that. So something that's popping into your mind, something that you're noticing in your research, put that down in the wondering section along with your expert words. Expert words or your word bank, you guys can work together. But if I put your names down on the bottom right above where the epic link is, you should find it should say wonderings and it should say your name. Put down your wonderings, what question you have. Come up with 2 or 3 good ones that you are wondering about. So again, remember we're talking about, in this one, we're talking about frogs, looking at a couple of different books. And granted, you're not having, excuse me, you're not having, you're going with online books, where here I have books that I can hold in my hand. So you're looking for, or looking across different books, different articles that you're looking through, and you're coming up with the same information. So, like, if I'm looking at something about, like, this one is frog food, this one is yummy frog food. So, I'm looking at that, and I'm going to get some information about both of those things. On one of them, it says frogs and toads eat worms, snails, and insects such as mosquitoes and dragonflies. They do not need to drink, they take in water through their skin. Well, I can look through here and find a little bit more information. They talk about their sticky tongue. They talk to how some frogs even eat, large frogs eats rats, mice, and sometimes even small snakes. That one, this other one really didn't talk about that. So I'm getting a little bit of information of what frogs eat from 2 different sources. Make sure you are doing that. You are looking across different resources, different books to find out similar information. Again, this is like, would be like one of my subtopics if I was talking about food. So in your subtopic, whatever it is, write down some more information. If you're talking about frog food, if you're talking about owls and their food, whatever they eat. So whatever you're talking about, you're looking at your subtopic information and get some more detailed information. So like this one, if my subtopic was what frogs eat, what do toads eat, I can talk about how, yes, they do eat worms, snails, and insects. I found that out from this book. This one doesn't really go into detail. This one goes into a little bit more detail, talks about what, other things. They talk about some large frogs eat even small animals like rats and mice. Okay. So make sure you are doing that in your research. I see a lot of you putting in some good notes. Look for expert words, look for glossary type of words. Like we've already done that in some of our writing and reading, where you guys made a glossary. You're kind of going to do the same thing. Some words that stand out. If you're the researcher, you're the expert researcher. I don't know much about your topic. and there's some words that I might need to know, you can put in that section under expert words, glossary. Also, start noticing your wonderings. Okay, I put that down there too. I didn't make the glossary, but if I don't see a lot of it in there, I'll go back and I'll make a glossary for you or expert words. But definitely add that wonderings piece to it, because now you've been doing it for almost a week now. You're coming up with these questions. Write them down on that Google Doc where you've been taking your notes. It should be down at the bottom right above your link. Okay. Keep up the great work, guys. Sure miss seeing your faces. We'll do a Zoom meeting soon. All right. Good work.